Excuse me, what are you doing?
What? I'm trying to capture the heart of the studio.
Okay. Well, I'm not really sure if you're going to capture it by taking pictures of me. Maybe take pictures of this shit back here. Am I the heart of the studio?
Well, if you notice, I took the first picture of our producer.
That's true. She is the real heart of the studio, isn't she? Take another one. Hey, all you Slashaholics! Welcome to Slash Sisters. I am Slash Sister Jen.
And that makes me Slash Sister Hallie, and we want to welcome you back to your favorite channel for horror movie reviews by true horror movie fans.
That is right.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off.
Yeah, no problem. Well, since you're here, you're here, right?
I hope so.
I think you're here. You're still watching, right? You're still watching? Okay. Okay, cool. So make sure if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, put it up here, Hallie, for us. Hit that subscribe button. So make sure you don't miss out on all the crazy weird shit that we're always doing.
Today we would like you to join us back as we dive into the bloody world that is the mind of Clive Barker.
That man. I cannot even imagine what it must be like up in there.
Well, you do know that this was like one of his first publications.
Oh, right? I know.
So,
and it's actually the second story of Volume 1 of the Books of Blood.
Oh, I thought it was the first one.
No,
okay.
It's Book of Blood is the first story.
Mm-hmm.
It's the second story.
Okay.
So, yeah. But yeah, that's right, my slashy friends. We are going back to the world of Clive Barker's Books of Blood. We have been there once before with The Forbidden, which is part of the Books of Blood series. That's the short story that inspired Candyman. Yeah.
So join us as we take a trip to the gory subways of New York on the Midnight Train.
We start our story off on a subway car as we see a man kind of wake up, stand up, only then to slip into a big ass puddle of blood. He makes his way to the next car where he sees a man slaughtering someone, multiple people, who knows? There's a lot of bloodshed.
Next, we meet Leon Kaufman, a photographer who is trying to capture the gritty, ugly side of New York City. He actually tells Brooke Shields' character later that he's trying to capture the heart of the city, and she says, well, you're failing.
Yeah. His girlfriend gets him a meeting with a gallery owner named Susan Hoff, played by Brooke Shields. Which is, I completely forgot she was in it. Like, I just watched this movie within the last couple of years, and when she popped up on screen, I was like, oh yeah, Brooke Shields is in this movie. Anyways, he is hoping, his girlfriend is hoping that this gallery owner will give him his big break in New York City.
Leon Kaufman is also played by a very early Bradley Cooper. This is before The Hangover, so this is before he had his breakout role and everything like that.
He was still so handsome, too. Oh my gosh. Especially at the end. Oh my god.
Instead of giving him his big break, she criticizes him for not taking enough risks, for not following up and getting the next shot, or showing up to get the initial shot. Because what he initially brings her the first time is someone like being wheeled out on a gurney, and it was like after the I don't know, whatever happened.
Yeah, I mean, she essentially accuses him of being an ambulance chaser.
Yeah, pretty much.
That night, he heads into the city's subway system, where he takes pictures of a group of men attempting to sexually assault a woman. He kind of like sees these guys and he gets a feeling about them, I guess is what he says.
Right, so he starts taking pictures initially, and then he like hollers at them. Mm-hmm. They start charging him, and he's like, all right, stop right there. Smile.
Yeah.
Because you're on closed circuit TV.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But the woman does kiss Leon before heading down into the subway to catch her train.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, once she is on the train and thinks she is safe, a mysterious man comes from behind her and hits her with a big-ass metal hammer. Like, I don't even know how to explain that thing other than just, it's not a sledgehammer. It's not really, like...
It's a meat hammer.
It is, but it's designed... It's hell of a head on it.
It's a hammer designed for, like, breaking bones.
Right.
It's literally what it is.
Right.
But it's wielded by the big bad Vinnie Jones.
Yes, Vinnie Jones. Holy shit.
Do you know how he got his start?
I don't. Tell me his story, Hallie.
He was a football player.
I can see that. Okay.
And Guy Ritchie, legendary director, has done a bunch of stuff with mostly British stuff, like Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, stuff like that, right? Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch both featured Vinnie Jones. Yeah. Lock, Stock, in the script, required a character to look, quote, like Vinnie Jones.
Oh.
But it was not Vinnie Jones that was cast in that role. Vinnie
Jones was in the movie?
Yeah. Vinnie Jones got cast in the film as another role. But he likes to joke around and say that he was technically the first one cast because, like, the description of one of the characters is like, he looks like Vinnie Jones.
That's hilarious, and I love it.
So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's how Vinnie Jones got his start. This is kind of how Bradley Cooper got his start. I mean, he's done some other stuff before, but, like, this, and then, like, I think the next year, 2009, Hangover came out, and that's
when he really launched, yeah, for sure.
The next day, Leon finds out that she's gone missing.
The girl.
Yeah, and it turns out that she was a model. He takes the photos to the police, but the detective doesn't believe him. Aha, a clue.
A clue. Our first clue that maybe, just maybe...
things ain't exactly what they seem to be.
Yeah, maybe. He begins to investigate on his own. Reports of similar disappearances. Many of these disappearances dating back hundreds of years and can be linked to different butchers who were accused of the killings throughout the ages.
He encounters a man coming from the subway who he ends up following to his job as a butcher. Mr. Vinnie Jones. A.K.A. Mahogany. Because he does have a name drop in the film.
Right. I think when I wrote the script earlier today, I think I only refer to him as the butcher until towards the end. I think I do actually clear up that his name is Mahogany, but we really don't know his name. I think they say it one time.
It gets name dropped one time by the
train conductor,
I guess. The rail master or whatever, the guy driving the train. Played by Tony Curran.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
You ever seen the Underworld series?
Yeah.
He was...
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah.
He was Marcus.
Okay.
He was the first vampire.
Go figure.
The son of Alexander the Great. Sorry,
It's been a while since I've seen the Underworld series. I watched them when they came out.
I'm a big fan of Glenn Weiss. Yeah, so.
Understandable. So he begins to suspect that this butcher is the one that is behind all the killings on the subway. And so he decides he's going to start following him because, that's real smart.
Right. You suspect someone of butchering people on a subway train, so you decide to stalk him and follow him to prove if your suspicions are correct. I guess that's why we have this story.
Yeah. So we do get, as he's following him, I didn't really put this in the script. In fact, we didn't really talk about this. I didn't put this in the script at all. But we're going to talk about it right now because we do get a nice little, maybe 1 minute cameo from our boy Ted Raimi. I'm going to take this opportunity to say that the practical effects in this film are really good.
But the CG...
However, there is absolutely fucking reason to have this much CGI blood in a movie where you've already got real fake blood. There's no reason for all the CGI. You already got the blood there. Why are we adding CGI, fake, vibrant, bright-colored blood? That's so stupid.
Mind you, this film is from 2008, so at the time, maybe the CG did look a little bit better. I doubt it because we already examined.
Well, guys.
No, because we already examined Drag Me to Hell, and that CG was bad with the blood and the eyeball.
And it was the same year.
It just
maybe a year later, 2009.
2009, because I made the point that that movie came out the same year as Avatar.
Right.
Anyway, this is a minus the CG blood effect and the eyeball effect and everything like that. It is a fucking visceral scene. Oh my gosh, so visceral.
This entire movie.
It's so visceral, we're not going to be able to show any of this footage for you.
Sorry, guys. You're going to have to watch it yourself.
You're going to have to watch it yourself and just take our word for it that...
you should watch it because it's fucking gory as hell.
Right, so not only does that happen with that, but
yeah, like there's a scene where the butcher, Mahogany, literally like hits Ted Raimi in the back of the head with his big hammer thing, and his eyeballs pop out because, you know, the Raimi boys and their eyeballs popping out jazz. Like, honestly, the CGI on that is so bad that it looks like it's trying to be 3D.
I got that same appearance.
That was the feel that I got.
I don't know.
Just from that scene.
I don't know that this ever was in 3D or anything like that.
I don't either.
But what happens next to Ted Raimi's character's wife?
Oh!
She gets hit not once, but twice in the head with the same fucking hammer, and her head gets knocked completely off her shoulders, and we get this really cool shot where the camera comes out of her eye, because as her head falls off her body, we're seeing it from that perspective. You see her headless corpse, and then the camera pulls out of her body, and you see the eyes blink, and you can hear the gurgle in her throat, like she's not quite dead yet.
Yeah. And it's not, I mean, come on. This is not the only time that we have some weird after-death gurgling shit that happens in this movie. This movie is gory as fuck, okay? It's called The Midnight Meat Train.
Right.
The Midnight Meat Train. Of course it's going to be gory as hell.
Right. Leon's suspicion quickly turned into dark obsession when he upsets his girlfriend, Maya, who, like the police, basically just doesn't believe his story.
No. She basically kind of thinks, like, she even says, this is all fake. Like, she says that to him. Like, this is all fake.
But
You've
it's
created
not.
this in your head.
But it's not.
Yeah.
There's also, in the source material for this, there's, like, hints at the fact that Mahogany has chosen Leon to be his replacement.
Yeah, actually.
Because Leon, or Mahogany...
So it's been a little while since I've read it, but from what I remember, they can actually sense each other. And that does show up in the movie a little bit. Especially when Leon ends up going to Mahogany's work, and he starts taking pictures. He's taking pictures of for his gallery showing that's supposed to be coming up. But Mahogany's got his back to him, and he's standing there taking a picture of Mahogany from behind, and Mahogany can feel him, and he turns around and sees him, and like. Leon freaks the fuck out, like, oh fuck, and then he ends up chasing him through the meat company, or the meat processing facility. Yeah, it's woo. Yeah. They definitely in the book. It's a short story. It's only
25 pages.
25 pages long. In the book, they definitely talk about how they can sense each other. At least that Mahogany can sense that Leon is his replacement.
Well, and then you also have like the flashes that while he's trying to take pictures of his girlfriend,
and also
and
he's having
Mahogany,
nightmares too.
Right?
Yep.
So I think that there's like a mutual kind of like sensing of one another. Right. There's a connection that even Leon doesn't know about, and maybe Mahogany in the film doesn't know.
Mahogany probably knows because it happened to him. He hasn't always been the butcher.
That's true.
You know. But yeah. So Leon follows the butcher onto the last subway train of the night. Only to witness an absolute fucking bloodbath. Like, yeah, it's...
Woo! The butcher kills several passengers and hangs their bodies on meat hooks throughout the subway car.
Yeah, this is after he cleans them, takes their clothes off,
pulls
shaves
their
them
teeth,
down.
shaves their head.
Pulls their teeth. That whole
pulls
scene.
Pulls their fingernails off.
That whole scene where he's like preparing the bodies and he's ripping teeth out and pulling fingernails off and pulling eyeballs out, like literally rips their eyeballs out of their sockets. Like I was sitting there like, ugh. Like teeth and nails. Those are like...
Oh, you're gonna love PT then.
Ooh, those are things that just really like that. Ooh, Carrying on.
Right.
After a brief fight with the butcher on the freaking train, Leon passes out on the train and wakes up the next morning in the slaughterhouse with strange markings carved into his chest.
We actually did forget to talk about one other person, Quentin Rampage Jackson.
Yeah!
Was an MMA fighter. Yeah. He also went on to do the A-Team remake with Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
And Liam Neeson and everything. But his character is billed as the guardian angel.
Right.
Because he is supposed to be like this type of vigilante character that's trying to seek out justice for these people that are going missing on the subway. And he gets into this brutal, visceral fight with Mahogany on the train.
And actually is able to damage Mahogany. You can see, they don't really talk about it a lot in the movie, but they talk about it in the short story. Mahogany is, or the Butcher, not necessarily
almost
just
supernatural.
Mahogany. Supernatural, yes. You cannot hurt him nearly as easily. Like, there's actually parts in the movie where, like, somebody or something punches him and it makes, like, a metallic sound, almost. Like it just doesn't stick to him, you know? But we see him slowly starting to break down as the movie continues, too.
Well, and then later
it starts really with this scene with the Guardian Angel.
Right, when this is where we get the conductor and the name drop of Mahogany, where the conductor comes out and is like, get your shit together.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in you.
Right.
Yeah. Clean this shit up is basically what he says.
A concerned Maya and her friend Jurgis examines Leon's photos of the Butcher, leading them to the killer's apartment.
Yeah, they basically figure out where he lives.
This is where we get, like, this scene with, like, the little jars and these things. And apparently...
The barnacles that are growing on his body?
Right. So, if what I read about... Because I haven't read the short story.
Right.
But if what I read about the short story is to be believed, it's supposed to be, like, some type of, like, cancerous tumors that he's removing from his body from long-time exposure to what's in the subway. That's and they don't come out and say it in the movie or anything like that, but I love the fact that they paid such great attention to detail.
Absolutely.
Because this is very much a
in the
love
books
letter.
he's like breaking down. Basically his body is starting to break down. You could see in the movie like he doesn't seem all that bothered by the fact that he's cutting pieces of his body off.
Well, he's been doing it for so long that it doesn't hurt him. Yeah. It doesn't faze him anymore.
Yeah. Maya and Jurgis end up breaking into Mahogany's apartment after watching him leave. So Maya kind of goes in by herself and she like tells Jurgis like stay out here and make a sound if he comes back. And Jurgis ends up coming in the apartment. He's like, look, if we're gonna get caught, we're gonna get caught. Which fair enough. But Mahogany returns and finds Jurgis and captures him. Which is a little scary.
Right. Maya escapes the apartment with a booklet of subway times dating back more than 100 years, detailing all of the murders.
Yeah, it's like a leather-bound kind of
journal.
Yeah. She goes to the police, but finds that Detective Hadley, the one that Leon had spoken to earlier, is still pretty skeptical. She tells Maya...
Well,
this is where...
I think it's also important to note that upon first watching this, you do not notice these small little details.
Like her necklace?
Like her necklace, exactly. Her necklace contains the same pendant as Mahogany's ring.
Yeah, the same emblem is on her necklace. It kind of looks like a flower almost, or like
it's like a starburst.
Yeah, like a starburst. It's on her necklace. It's also on Mahogany's ring. So she's in on it. We don't notice it right away.
No, like I said, it's something that you don't notice until like a second watching.
Yeah.
Like later in the film, it's kind of confirmed that she's covering this shit up.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for sure.
Like your first cursory watch of this, you're not.
Yeah, you don't like. You're not suspicious of her right away.
No.
In fact, like when Leon first goes to her, like she's like, oh, so why do you have these pictures? You know, like. Kind of makes you look like the suspicious one, and I was kind of like, yeah, she's right.
To be fair,
she's right. It does make him look bad. Anyway, so she tells Maya that the owner of the apartment that they broke into does not want to press charges, but just wants his book back. Which
your second clue.
Yeah.
The detective tells Maya to return the book, but Maya demands answers, and also says the book is with Jurgis, who has suddenly gone missing.
Right. At gunpoint, Detective Hadley directs her to take the midnight train to find Jurgis.
Because, as far as the detective knows, Jurgis has the book. Which, if that's the case, the Butcher's got the book back already.
Yeah. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
No, at this point, she's basically telling her to go to her death.
Yeah. She's
directing
her to the train.
Right, exactly.
She knows what she's doing.
Right, of course. She's part of the cabal. Leon heads to the hidden subway entrance in the slaughterhouse, suiting himself up in armor and arming himself with several knives.
Can we talk about his armor? Was that a bunch of pop tabs? It looked like a bunch of soda tabs all lined up together.
I think it was literally supposed to be chainmail. Chainmail apron. Yeah, is what it was. But mind you, he is a photographer.
Yeah.
How does he know how to wield a knife in a fight?
Hey, whatever. YouTube video. You can learn everything on YouTube.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
You really can. Leon boards the train as... Oh. Okay. Sorry. I'm reading my own thing. Okay. Leon boards the train as the butcher, who we know as Mahogany, completes his nightly massacre, and he literally, sees Maya on the train and starts running towards the train and is barely able to grab onto the last car and pull himself up into the train to save Maya.
He actually uses one of these lovely things right here. He grabs onto it and then
hooks himself in and is able
on.
To, yeah.
Thanks, Spirit.
Yeah, right. Good thing that's not real. That's plastic.
It's rubberized.
Rubberized.
Careful,
Yeah,
it's just glued in there. Yeah.
Anyways, so he sees Maya on the train, is able to get on there.
Barely.
Yeah.
Leon attacks the butcher with a knife, and the two fight in between the swinging human bodies on the Midnight Meat Train. We also get another beautiful shot of the camera rotating around them and through the train and around the train and outside and
when I say that these practical effects were fucking great, okay, Hallie knows how much I love Terrifier. I love Terrifier because I actually really love the scene where the girl gets bisected through the crotch. Mm-hmm. You've got, because I think that the girl's body looks really fucking great as it's hanging there upside down. In this, you've got that times 12.
Right.
Multiple times. It's done practically. These are real, practical hanging bodies. They're not real bodies, obviously, but they're somebody made these things and they look fucking great.
Ryuhei Kitamura did a beautiful job with this. I had to look at his name because it's Japanese, and Japanese is sometimes very hard for me to pronounce.
It is.
But
hard for anybody to
he was an avid fan of the source material and wanted to adapt it as faithfully as he could. But obviously, a 25-page short story,
and
which is why we get instead. I think Leon is an accountant in the short story. In this, he's a photographer. Makes more sense. Modern time, modern devices.
Right.
But we also get an expanded backstory with Maya, going to Mahogany's apartment, finding the jars and everything like that.
Right. So human body parts are ripped off and thrown at each other and used as fucking weapons. At one point, he takes a leg and beats the shit out of Mahogany with it.
There's a scene where Mahogany swings the fucking hammer, right? And it literally just rips off a leg or an arm off of one of the corpses hanging there. Right. And it just goes flying, and I'm just
I'm telling you, this movie's fucking visceral. It
is so visceral. It's probably one of the most visceral films that we've covered.
Yeah, for sure. It's way up there. So Jurgis, who is hung upside down.
Not dead.
Not dead.
Yes.
But dies when he is gutted and all of his blood pours out onto his face while upside down. Yeah.
Mahogany goes to stab Leon, stabs Jurgis instead, and then instead of pulling the knife out, he goes across the belly, and his guts literally spill out of him.
Spill out all over. And I have to say, the blood work in this movie is phenomenal.
With the exception of the Ted Raimi scene.
Yeah, that was the
only scene that was really bad.
Minus all the CGI blood. Because I really feel like CGI blood is not needed when you've got so much good practical blood already being used.
CGI blood is needed for certain scenes.
For certain things, I get
Greg Nicotero uses it with The Walking Dead because there are certain scenes that you have to use that.
Yeah, but
they mix it.
That's what I was going to say. It's now we have the process of mixing CGI with practical, and it looks so much more better. 2008, we probably really didn't have that. They weren't thinking about stuff like that at the time. That's all I can say. It's good. It's lots of blood. It's lots of body parts being used as weapons. It's fucking great.
The train reaches its final stop, but not before Leon kicks Mahogany off the fucking train.
Yeah. Yeah, like out of the door while it's flying.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. A huge underground abandoned station filled with skulls and decomposing bodies.
Mm-hmm. The conductor appears and asks Leon and Maya to please step away from the meat.
Please, step away from the meat.
Yeah. Shit's about to get real weird now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The true purpose of this abandoned station is revealed as reptilian creatures, which in the book they're actually humans with sharpened teeth.
They're humanoids, yeah.
Very
much some chuds.
That are, I think, labeled as the founding fathers of our country.
Right, and so the premise is that there's societies living under all of the big cities.
All the major cities,
yeah.
right,
yeah.
right. But these reptilian creatures enter the car and start eating the meat, the murdered passengers.
Mm-hmm. Leon and Maya flee into the cavern, but Mahogany, beaten all to hell and half of his face all beat up,
right.
shows back up and fights to the death with Leon.
But not before killing Maya.
Yes. No. He doesn't kill Maya.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I thought she was dead.
The conductor kills Maya.
That's right. Yeah.
We'll get there. So Leon and Mahogany fight, and they fight like crazy. And eventually, Leon grabs a fucking shattered femur bone and shoves it through Mahogany's neck. Which is, man, what a way to go.
Right.
You know?
A dying Mahogany grins, looks Leon in the eye, and tells him, welcome.
It's literally the only thing he says in the entire movie, and we'll find out why.
Yes, we will.
In just a second. So the conductor then tells Leon that because he killed the butcher, the creatures that live underneath the city have been there since long before the city was constructed. And the butcher's job is to feed them each night, to keep them from attacking subway riders during the day.
Basically to pacify them.
Yes.
This is almost kind of like Cabin in the Woods, where we have
like a ritual of
ritualistic
like,
sacrifices and everything like that.
Yep.
The conductor then grabs Leon by the throat, one fucking handed, mind you, picks him up by the throat and takes his other hand and rips his goddamn tongue out of his mouth.
Yeah. So like these people that work for this cabal, this society that is taking care of these humanoid creatures, seem to have some kind of like superhuman strength.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Fucking
I mean,
clearly.
Obviously the butcher does. Obviously the conductor
does. Yeah.
Yeah, but like in the books, like they don't really talk about it too much in the movie, but in the book, it is alluded to that there's those creatures that we see are kind of like the minions for the main creature, which is a little bit more Cthulhu-like.
Oh,
a little bit more of like an eldritch horror sort of thing.
Okay.
So
I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that.
So there's like an ancient being that those creatures also serve. The conductor brings Leon's attention over to Maya, who has been knocked unconscious and is laying on the top of a pile of bones. The conductor then forces Leon to watch as he cuts Maya's heart out and lifts it up and takes it over to him. I don't know if Leon eats it. They don't show him eating it or anything like that. But, when the conductor ripped Leon's tongue out, he promptly sucked that shit in his mouth and was like, swallowed it down real fast. So, yeah, clearly there's some cannibalism happening up in this bitch.
Maybe that's how they get their supernatural powers.
That's what I was wondering too. Yeah.
The conductor then says to Leon that after he has killed Mahogany, the butcher, that he must now take his place.
Yep. And with that, Detective Hadley shows up again and hands the train schedule to the new butcher, who is wearing a ring that has the same symbol. It's the symbol for the group that feeds the creatures.
We see the same man from the first scene of the movie falling asleep on the train car as he watches a man walk through the car.
Yeah, so we're bringing it back all the way to the very beginning, the very first opening scene. He turns towards the camera, and we see the new butcher has been walking through, and he turns to look, and it's Leon.
So, it does cut to black here,
yes.
and it's the end of the film.
Yeah.
It is actually alluded to that Leon looking back the way that he did is him sensing the next butcher.
Oh!
Like, this may not be, like...
Alright.
This may not be, like, current. Like,
yeah,
we may have been doing this for years down the road. Okay. And, like, him
the
turning...
same thing of me saying earlier that it was definitely alluded to in the book that it was... that they could sense each other. So.
Right, so specifically like when Mahogany is at the slaughterhouse and everything like that, and Leon's taking his pictures, and Mahogany stops and then turns back the same way that Leon turns and looks into the camera at the very
I never even thought about that. That is... Thank you, Hallie. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm
added another extra little spin to the movie that I did not need.
Yep.
Didn't know, but now I need it. I need it as part of the whole thing. Yeah, no, that's... bloody machete to the sky for me. This movie is fantastic.
Straight up, bloody meat hook to the sky. God damn it.
Yeah, all of it. Bloody, bloody, bloody. Yeah, this movie's gory, but in the best way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, gory
this
with
is
a reason.
Visceral.
It's gory with a reason. It's gory that's got a story behind it. It's got a reason for all of the killing.
It's not gory for gore's sake. It's gory for the story's
Whereas,
sake.
like Hallie likes to make fun of me for Terrifier. I still love Terrifier because it's gory just to be gory, just to be gross, just to be what it is. This, you get all of that, plus a really interesting story to go along with
I think so, yeah. Like I said, I've been a fan of this movie for pretty much since it came out.
Yeah. And I only saw it just not that long ago. But, yeah, I mean, I've been a huge fan of Clive Barker since as long as I can remember.
And mind you, when I first watched this film 15 years ago, I did not know that it was Clive Barker.
Yeah, that makes sense. It seems like... Okay. It doesn't seem like... If you just heard the name The Midnight Meat Train, my first thought would not go Clive Barker.
Mm-mm.
But knowing the material and knowing about... Like, Clive Barker likes to write about... like, secret societies. And, like, I mean, he literally has a book called Cabal, which is... the basis for the movie, God, my brain's going absolutely dead, with Midian, and, it's y'all.
I think she just suffered from the brain ouchies.
I did. Anyways, let's carry on talking about something else. It'll come to me.
With that, we
bloody machete up.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
put it down here, Hallie, because I know I'm having a major brain fart, but you guys will know what I'm talking about. It's got.
I don't, but that doesn't mean shit either.
Okay, so I can maybe you don't know. It's like the main character is convinced by his psychiatrist that he's a murderer, and the psychiatrist is played by fucking the. God, I can't think of his name either. Like. Body horror. Who's the king of body horror?
Cronenberg.
Okay? Cronenberg literally plays like the director.
Psychiatrist.
It plays the psychiatrist in the movie. God damn it, I can't think of what it's called. Anyways, it takes place in Midian, and there's all these like creatures and stuff like that. Anyways, it's a great movie. Book's great. Carrying on.
Yeah, we're gonna send this on the Midnight Meat Train.
Get it on out of here.
To underground dwellers.
Get those.
They can gobble that all up.
Cannibal humanoid.
Cannibalistic humanoid.
I mean, they really are.
We've talked about.
They literally are chuds. We have talked about chuds so many times on this channel, and yet we haven't reviewed chud yet.
Next year.
Yeah.
Because we do have our schedule planned out for the rest of this year.
Yes,
so.
we do. I actually have a running list in my head already for things.
Oh, yeah, I've got a list of 75 films that we need to cover for next year already.
Cool. Glad we're on the same page. Too bad there's not 75 weeks in the year. So,
whatever. I mean,
speaking of there not being 75 weeks in the year and us somehow being able to cover a lot more than that in just a short period of time,
I mean,
we've got something exciting coming up. Actually, we've got a couple of exciting things coming up.
Yeah, so, we are getting ready to do our 100th movie review.
Yes.
We are going to be showing the original Night of the Living Dead from George A. Romero. 1968, I believe.
Yes.
Black and white classic. And it will be shown in black and white because the colorized version...
At this point, well...
Will
it have already been... Will we have already recorded and done all that? Or is this releasing this morning? We're releasing this morning, aren't we?
No.
Like the Wednesday before.
The Wednesday before.
Which is
before the show. Okay. Yeah. So, if you're watching this right now... Head on over to our Facebook page where there is information about our event coming up this weekend where we will be inviting you all to come to my house and watch Night of the Living Dead with us. And then watch as we film our review as well.
Because if you want to, you can help us review it.
Yes. We would love for you to come and, one, watch the movie with us, enjoy some fun times and good food and just enjoy people.
BYOB. Bring your own chair.
Yes.
And bring a dish for a potluck.
Bring some food to share.
Yeah. I believe one of our slashaholics, Dustin, is making some pulled pork, I believe.
Some kind of smoked food
right?
of some sort.
Right. Yep. But yes, we are going to be doing that on October 4th.
Yes.
At Jenny's house. Go to Facebook for all of the details. We do have an event created there. Mm-hmm. I do not want to put I don't want to blast your address on YouTube.
But you know where to find us on Facebook. I mean, I guess we're blasting it on Facebook anyways. You know where to find us. Come to our Facebook. Come and see us. Come and watch a movie with us and enjoy some good time and good company.
Facebook link in description.
Yep. But another thing that is very exciting that is also happening the month of October.
Yeah, we kind of slit our own throats on this one.
No, we didn't. This is going to be fun. Well, maybe we did because Hallie's done all the editing, and this month's going to be a lot for her. But we are going to be reviewing every single movie in the Halloween franchise,
minus the Rob Zombie ones. Just because there's not enough fucking time.
There's not enough time.
We will get to Rob Zombie eventually because we have not touched anything from Rob Zombie on this channel yet, and we love Rob Zombie, despite what some of our fans may think.
Yep. Just because we haven't talked about him yet, don't mean that they're in major love. Anyways.
Mm-hmm. But our first film, which will be dropping in 2 days' time, is going to be Halloween 2. Because we've done 1, we've done 3, but we have not done 2.
Yeah, we gotta backtrack just a smidge.
Yeah.
Then we promise we'll go in order from there. But yeah, we're gonna backtrack because we did skip ahead last year at Halloween and do Season of the Witch because it doesn't really go in the Michael Myers timeline.
No, but if you also remember correctly, last October we also gave you the entire Universal movie Monsters.
Yes.
So happy early Halloween, everybody! This is our Halloween treat from us to you.
So come back. What is it, next week?
2 days.
2 days. Yeah, because this is Wednesday. Yeah, come back on Friday. We will have our first Halloween review of the year. We are going everywhere from Halloween 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's 4, 5, Curse.
6, Curse, yeah.
H2O. Resurrection. 2018.
Right.
Kills.
Right.
And the Abysmal Ends.
So we're not doing the Rob Zombie ones, though. But we will be coming back to them. So yeah, come back in a couple of days where we will review one of the better ones in this franchise. It's got issues. Not as bad as some of the other ones, too, though.
No. But we'll get to that in today's time.
We sure will.
So be sure to slash that subscribe button.
Stab the like button.
And ring-a-ling that great bell so you don't get lost in the mix and can stay up to date on everything we are doing on YouTube.
And until next time, we will see you all in the afterlife.